Hey there everyone, welcome back to Gamevine, and hold on a second. Archmageus. Today we're going to be reviewing Archmage. Now, as a disclaimer, this is a review copy from Starling Games, and this is the collector's edition, so this is the sleeve for it. I just think this art right here looks so much cooler. So, Archmage is essentially an area control game where you're using cards, which are spells, and you're trying to maintain the area control in order to get relics, which are currency, in order to buy these spells, to ultimately get the most points to become the Archmage. I like having this wand here as a pointer. So without further ado, you know this production is going to be fantastic. It's Starling Games, but you're still going to be surprised. Check out all these bits. Alright, so this is what comes in the box of Archmage, and man, I am a sucker for components. Call me shallow how now, but this game is going to get a good helping of points just for production quality, but it doesn't surprise me because this is what Starling does. They're renowned for great cardboard and wooden components and cards. Let's go over the cards now because look, this is a holographic. Can you see that shine? Oh, so is that. Oh, wait a minute, that's a holographic. All of these cards are holographic, baby. And there are 4 different decks for all of the players here. They have their own backs for each player, but yes, their deck is the same, but all holographic. I love it, and I like shiny cards and shiny bits, and they're good. They're easy to read too. They are very small print, but I do think that the shine doesn't really deter it too much. It's only on the sides, and the illustration on it is fantastic. I know Dan is one of the artists. He also worked on Everdell. That's pretty cool. Now let's get to the cardboard components. These are thick, sturdy, and what are they going to do? They're going to stand the test of time. Art on them are fantastic. The little bit spells tiles here and a whole bunch of other kind of tiles are all just great. We got the corruptions. The upgraded version of the war tokens here are in this the collector's edition, the one that I have, and that's these right here, and just tasty. And since we're looking at wooden components, go ahead and just look at them all. This one right here is the tower that goes in the middle. It's 2 pieces. It's nothing too special, but it's pretty cool. It's a little 3D aspect. Now, all of the main tokens, the big ones here, are unique. Every tower is going to be different, and every player marker here is going to be different. Now the small pieces right here are going to be same. Now they are missing a green player. Well, you know, whatever, that's fine. But as you can see, each player has their own special like little tower. And when Miko came in the room, she must have knocked all these down. They didn't even notice. Come on, Miko. But yeah, these are just phenomenal wooden pieces, and they go all the way from even little chits here. These are all the same size. They're just quality bits. I mean, come on, you don't get much better than this. And then the main thing that I like about this game is these recessed color boards. Now I will say they do have kind of a bend to them. I tried to bend them a little bit to get them back into shape, but it didn't seem worth it, and they function just as well. So I don't know if your copy is going to get a little bend, but if it does, don't worry, it's not a big deal. And then the dice and the board, the scoring sheet, all this stuff. And I think I probably even missed something along here because there's just so much. Yeah, I did. The bags that you get. I think these are in this collector's edition as well. Okay, now that you've seen all these phenomenal pieces, let's show you how to play with them and see if there's an actual game in this box. Let's go. Alright, so here I have the game of Archmage set up for 2 players. Now, there are going to be 15 rounds that you're going to be playing, and on your turn, essentially what you're doing is moving around this board, discovering stuff, trying to get relics, get spells, and do all that. You're gaining points, and whoever has the most points at the end of those 15 rounds is the Archmage. Each player will start off with 15 of their apprentices here. These are little tiny mages, you can tell. I thought they were candles at first, but no, they have little hooded mages. And they'll start off with basically half, a little over half of their mages. You're going to have to recruit the rest of them, and some of these ones that will die over time. Now, on your turn, you're going to have 3 kind of different phases. The preparation phase, the journey phase, and the journey's end. And the preparation part is basically just cleaning up stuff. You'll be taking some of the instant spells that have just cast for the whole turn. You'll be updating your spell book, and you'll be moving your planet board and getting a relic for whatever planet that you move. Now down here, when you move a planet, you get to get a relic of that type, and relics are going to be used for buying these spells here. For every 2 of which type that you use, you will be able to put one of your little mages here, and then you'll be able to get that spell. So I have purple right now, and that's purple, so I get to put this purple right in front of me. Again, that's in the case if I'm going to actually buy a spell. Now, the next part of the phase is the journey phase. You'll have 5 movement points to use during this journey phase. To either travel with your mage, explore land, attack an opponent, or cast a spell at this point. And a mage can basically travel to any tile he wants. If the tower is at a spot, he can't travel into that spot, or if another mage is in a spot, he can't travel to that spot. But other than that, the movement is pretty free. Now when you move to a tile that has that's flipped over like this, you will flip it over and you'll instantly gain whatever relic it says right here, or whatever ability it says right here. So this one would happen to be just get a relic of purple, and then you go ahead and have your mage there. Now you can also deploy one of your workers to take control of the land here, and that's important because this is one of the ways that you can get relics and ultimately get currency to spend on the spells. And this one right here is green, so whenever I trigger a event where I get relics, I will be getting a green relic. Now again, you can have multiple spots where you have your workers, and your opponent can fight your worker and put theirs in instead, though they have to spend 1 extra action point to do that. Though they would have to spend an extra action point if you have a ward can be placed on the board, and they'll have to use 2 more actions to place a mage apprentice on there. And then on the last part is the journey's end, where you'll gather or recruit or initiate, place a ward, build or your mage tower, or initiate and promote apprentices. And that's a lot to kind of go through, but it's basically where you land is what you're going to do. If you're on a wilderness token, you can either build your tower if it isn't already built, or you can place one of those ward tokens, like I said, that you can put down. If you end your turn on the town, that's one of the best places you'll be able to gather. And this is where owning property basically is going to come into play. For every color you have on your apprentices and you land on a town to gather, you will get a relic of that color. So if you have a whole bunch of apprentices out there, you're going to get a whole bunch of currency. It also hits for the camps too. You'll get followers for the camps, and the towns even get you stuff if you control those. So getting on those town spots and landing there can get you quite a bit of stuff. And we'll get into the initiate part when we can go over the color board, but basically you'll be doing that and discovering stuff over the game and revealing all of these until that happens, and you'll be doing that until the 15 rounds, and the Archmage is decided. Once you gather all these points, I'm going to jump ahead and put some pieces down so it looks like it's been played a little more. So this is a little bit what a game would look like mid-game. Now, once you explore everything, the only thing there is left to do is to start to control and area control the land. Now, it's a kind of a slow burn while you're getting all the materials and getting the spells up to the 15th round, but that's what you basically do on the board. Now I'm going to focus more on this color board so I can show you how initiate works and how to get spells. This is the color board. So when you get the opportunity to put one of your little apprentices on these colors here, what you do again is you spend 2 of your relics to get one here, and you can have multiples on these different colors here because it's going to be necessary, because when you have different apprentices here, they can fight and get promoted, and now you have that color with the spells. So the green one here is basically just a root, and it's going to hinder people. You place vine tokens in some wilderness spots, and it takes an extra action point to actually move. So each one of these colors and card spells have a theme. This is a dwarf one. I like that. Protection. Basically, you may return a follower back to your company if it gets exhausted. And black, of course, is going to be mean. If each opponent who has more than 10 relics, they must discard 2 of them. Oh, it's just rough. And then you make somebody re-roll their dice. So each one has a theme, and if you look up here, some of them have dual colors or even triple colors like this one, and that is going to correspond to what mage you have. So when you have one more of apprentice, when you have an apprentice down here, you have control of those color spells. But when these 2 fought, I lost control of green, so I can't just get this solely green colored spell, though I can relearn it. I don't know how thematic that is, but it is an interesting kind of mechanism. But if I get one down here and then I have these 2 fight, this is the triple in the middle here, and that's basically what you're doing on the color board. Is you're trying to move your apprentices. Your planets are giving you relics, moving your relics to get spells, and these spells are going to give you bonuses for actually playing them, and they're going to give you points at the very end of the game. So you really want to do some focusing down here on the color board. So that is Archmage basically in a nutshell. They even have a solo play with the Warlord here. You have to beat him, but I'll talk more about that in my opinion part of the video. Now let's go to that and give this game a grade. Let's go. So that's how you play Archmage. Now, this game here, the grade that it gets, it is an 83. A very, very nice grade. It is a B for me, and the production is a huge part of the grade, and the game is decent. I like it. Now, I will go and let you know a few of the things that I wasn't a huge fan of, just to get those out of the way. This game is a lot of take that, and you know how I feel about take that kind of games. They are mean, but there has to be a balance. If it's going to be a mean game, that is what it has to be. It can be nothing else, and that's what this game is. So it's all take that. You're going to have to be mean to your opponent, whether you're playing a 2-player, 3-player game. That's all I play. I've never played a 4-player game. That might really blow the game. I would like to actually experience that, but you're going to have to be mean to these people in order to win, eventually at least. But again, because it does that throughout the whole game, it doesn't bother me too much. And the length of the game is maybe a tad bit longer, but I don't really mind it too much. I think the main thing I mind is the exploration of the map is really fun. I like doing that. I wish that went on longer, but when you have all the tiles flipped, it's kind of a slow slog to get to all those bigger spells and to get all the materials. But again, that is a minor quibble for me because I enjoy playing the game. I like fiddling around with the bits. You know how I am. I'm a shallow guy. I like components. You win me over initially with that. So I like messing around with those, and the art is really nice to kind of look at while you're waiting. There's not much downtime, especially in a 2-player game. I think this is a fantastic 2-player game. 3-player game, it was a little bit too long for me. But that's basically all the bad. The good stuff is it's just the production. The gameplay is solid. I like the kind of spell aspect cards. There's not too much, so you don't get too much analysis paralysis. Maybe the first game that you play, but after that, you pretty much know what the cards do. The solo play surprised me. It wasn't as good as an Everdell solo play, but I'm very surprised that Starling is able to take a lot of their games and make them a solo experience, because that's great for me as a reviewer, because people don't always want to play these games, but I need to play these games to review them. So playing a solo version, even if it's just a tad bit watered down, is super awesome in my book. And I like the color wheel. It's a pretty board. I wish it wasn't so like bent, but I think that's because of the recessed way that it's made, but it wasn't a big deal. I liked putting my apprentices on there and trying to figure out the best tactic or how many to put in one color to make sure I have the spells that I need to execute a combo that I would really like, and that took a few games to kind of get the hang of it. But once I was able to execute, it was like any kind of card game execution. You're like, okay, I'm gonna play this plays off this is, I like doing the yellow spells and the green spells. Let's go with those. And who would I recommend this game for? Well, I recommend this game for gamers. This is a heavier game. I would recommend it for people who like area control games. So if you are like fighting for the areas in either kind of like war type games or like these fantasy type games where you're just fighting over portions of the board, people are going to like that if they have any kind of request for those type of games. And for fantasy people, the theme is decent. The spells and all that kind of stuff, I did feel like a mage pretty much the whole time if you really dive deep into it like I tend to do. And I also recommend this for people who like card games like Magic. They might find a little bit of interest in, but the demographic might be slim with the combination of the two, but I think one of the other, if you get them playing this, they're going to have a good time. So thank you so much for joining me in today's review, and thank you so much, Starling Games, for this copy. You help the channel grow, and we appreciate you so much. So, Fine Nation, you are fantastic as well. If you haven't already, click like, and if you don't like it, click down and let me know down in the comments below why you don't. And if you haven't already, click that subscribe button and the bell. And until the next time that I see you, I hope this review was informational. And if you want this game, it will be in the link down below. But until the next time that I see you, have a great rest of your day and a great time with all that you play. I'm Dave. I'm out. Bye, everybody. Miko, it's time to go. Good girl, Miko.